And here comes Harden, leading the fast break. Ellis kicks to Parsons. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Parsons got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
And I can only imagine how frustrating it is to have to try to guard Nowitzki if you're a defender. He doesn't have to beat you off the dribble or back you in. That turnaround at 7 feet tall, effortless and efficient, and usually on target.
Dwight Howard joining a great lineage, Steve, of Houston Rocket big men over the years, from the great Elvin Hayes to Moses Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, to Yao Ming. I mean, what a litany of wonderful players in the history of that franchise.
Yeah, there was that great photo at the press conference a couple years back when Dwight signed with Houston. The photo included a lot of those former Rocket big men. And I think it's a good fit. He seems to be very comfortable in Houston, and he's part of what is a really good young club.
Chandler with a screen for Rondo. And the dunk by Chandler. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, 5 times already the lead has changed.
Chandler with the steal. And here we go, the Mavericks on a fast break. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Mavericks.
When they've come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too. When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Ellis. From down in the low post, it goes.
And the Rockets hiring Hakeem Olajuwon to work with Dwight on his moves. Between the Dream and Kevin McHale, that's a wealth of post-scoring expertise for Howard to draw upon. But again, those two guys did it at a Hall of Fame level. Dwight has that potential, but will he put in the work necessary to grow into that type of low post score?
Rondo drives in. He feeds it to Chandler. Shot clock at 6. Here's Rondo. Count that one.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
Yeah, they have the defense on the run right now because every pass seems to have a purpose. They're getting great movement, great spacing, and they're really lining them up defensively. Kevin McHale has worked with Dwight on trying to stay low and exploit his quickness advantage, beat his defender to the spot, and then power through for the finish.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Smith checked in for Chandler. Villanueva comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Barea subbed in for Rajon Rondo. Here's Ariza. The big dunk at the end of the break.
Great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and trigger the fast break.
Wow, and now it's just a one-possession game thanks to that quick hitter. Fantastic basketball in the open floor.
Parsons' shot is off.
Didn't matter that he was surrounded. He was the guy who muscled everybody else out of the way to get that board.
Ariza with the bucket.
He's feeling it here to start the game. That's 3 out of 4 already.
Ellis kicks to Barea. Screen by Villanueva. In the corner, Smith with it. It's good. Great play set up by Barea.
Very clever passing. That was just beautifully done.
Both teams back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. And they're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Mavericks?
It was pretty impressive the way they moved the ball, made the extra pass, and found open shooters that whole quarter.
Yeah, it's been a complete team effort out there. Great to watch.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the floor right now for the Mavericks, We've got Jefferson. Greg Smith is out there with Charlie Villanueva. Then there's J.J. Barea. And it's Harris in at the 2. Dallas leading by 5. Clark, you know this. It looked bleak at times, and they didn't finish where they wanted to. But the Mavs did sneak into the postseason last year with a very strong push.
And they took the Spurs to 7 games in that first round. A tough schedule for them at the end of the season, but they fought through it and got back to the playoffs. Very impressive.
Now, here is Harden. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against New Orleans.
And his work on the glass, certainly noteworthy. And he contributed in a number of ways.
Over the last 10 games, as we look at the Rockets, this is how they compare to the rest of the league. 4th in rebounding, 11th in blocks. And they're in the top half of the league in scoring as well. Not too shabby.
And you put all those things together, and that makes this a very tough team. And what really jumps out at me is the rebounds, Clark. I mean, this is a team that controls the paint. If you're going to miss a shot, the ball seems to be theirs almost every time. That allows their transition game to get going. And then at the offensive end, they'll pound you on the offensive glass as well.
Here's Powell. Smith dishes to Powell. Out to the wing. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Powell's got his first 2 points of the night. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Guys, as we know, Dwight Howard used to covet the big market. His friend Josh Smith had said he's addicted to being global. And Howard even admitted people were in my ear about being in a bigger place and bringing more dollars in. Nowadays, it's not about where you play. Unfortunately, I had to learn that lesson in front of a whole world. Kevin?
His image took a hit, Doris, but he's learned from it, obviously. Thanks. And Houston calls their first time out of the game. Last time these two teams came together was also in this building. They were able to win it for the home fans.
And in that matchup, it was a very close game, but it boiled down to foul trouble. And I thought that was the key because a lot of those starters had to go to the bench.
A different look for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Greg Smith. Giolito comes in for Jefferson. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Harris. And here are the Mavericks now. 9 points in a row. Good run for him right now. And Ariza with the stop.
There's that transition offense. Push the ball up the floor. The defense can't get set up. You can get some easy hoops that way.
Well, and the steal made it possible. It all starts with the defense, and they could use a few more sequences like that one.
And to go back to the point Steve just made, how many times have we seen Clark close games come down to the foul situation?
Well, a lot of times, Kevin. You're exactly right. I mean, that's what that one came down to. If they didn't cause that foul trouble, I think it would have turned out differently.
Rajon Rondo returning to action in mid-January of 2014, a little less than a year after his ACL tear. And Steve, he looked pretty good.
He did. His shooting percentages were down, but rebounding and passing as well as he ever has. But Rondo, I think this year will be much more effective now that he's got some reps back on that knee.
And Rondo's field goal percentage dipped, but he shot a lot more three-pointers than ever before in his career. Coming off that injury, maybe not looking to drive as much as in the past. He hit that three-point shot at about 29%. I think he's got to get that mark up. If he does, then he could really be moving.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. Tyson Chandler, he's checked in for Powell. Chandler Parsons comes in for Al Farouk Aminu. And it's Ellis in for Ricky Lido. Now here's Rondo. He had 13 points in the win against Detroit.
I I thought his rebounding was impressive as well, as he made some big boards, really helped out on the glass, helped his team out big time.
Kicks it out to Ariza. Kept alive. Here's Dallas. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. And Parsons slams it in.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Yeah, this is threatening to get kind of ugly out here.
A shot by Harden, wide open. Another miss by Houston.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Well, the score has a lot to do with that, Clark. Just based on that, you'd think the rebounding gap would be huge.
Ariza no one. Dallas leading by 3.
Oh, man, that was unreal.
Mark it up.
Boy, he is a strong finisher on the fast break.
Yeah, he sure is. He remains in total control, even at full speed. I love that about him.
And the struggles continue. Just awful. Scoreless in this quarter, in fact.
Outside Rondo. Nowitzki sets a screen for Rondo. From about 16. And there's Dirk Nowitzki on the assist by Rondo.
Well, the lead isn't getting any smaller. I mean, this is an incredibly well-rounded performance for this club on the road.
You know, that's...
And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. Mavericks lead by 17. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
Looking at the numbers for Trevor Ariza, he's got 8 points, and they've got to be happy with his work on the glass, too.
Oh, they have to be. I mean, he's not giving up any ground in the paint. And when the ball goes up, I mean, it's his.
We've got Moniunas, Cannon out there with Johnson. And it's Papanicolaou in at the 4. That's the 5 for Houston right now.
The Rockets, to me, are an emerging factor in the West. Not 100% sold on them being championship caliber, but I still think you got to give that front office a lot of credit in terms of what they got out of the superstar tandem of Harden and Howard. I think it's a strong foundation of scoring and defense.
Harris is checked in for Dallas. Here's Nowitzki. Takes it out to Parsons. Left side Parsons. Second shot opportunity. Chandler, the pass to Parsons. Back to Chandler. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Looking at the Mavericks over the last 10 games, Kevin, this is how they compare to the rest of the league. Tops in scoring, 6th in shooting percentage. And they're in the top 10 getting into the passing lanes and coming up with steals.
And the points that they're scoring per game that you talked about is really a result of great offensive execution. And this is a club that works well together. They get great looks, and they'll also score in transition.
Parsons for 3.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
A shot by Johnson, no good. Boy, the Rockets came out smelling like a rose, didn't they? Bringing in Howard, but some luck along the way, too. You remember the Chris Paul Lakers trade that was vetoed? And Steve, the Rockets would have gotten Pau Gasol in the deal.
And then not Dwight Howard, because they wouldn't have had the cap room to absorb him. So, you know, they're probably glad that in hindsight that deal fell through. Because Dwight Howard, the younger and more talented